Hi there everyone, hope you're all remaining safe and your families are too. So today's recipe that we're going to be looking at is Seitan Steak. Hence why you've got the little logo up in the corner, Seitan. Because it's something I make a lot of and I make various different ones. I've not done many Seitan recipes, but this is another one that I'm going to be doing for you. So what is Seitan? Seitan is made from vital wheat gluten. It's a meat substitute. It doesn't give you a product exactly the same as meat, it gives you something different, but it's a good substitute because you can get, depending on the way you put your recipe together, similar textures, similar feels to the meat product, but in my opinion you get something better because you don't have the chucky bits, you don't have any fatty bits, you don't have anything in your mouth that doesn't taste nice. Everything about the final product is gorgeous, edible and damn tasty. So let's crack on and do this. So the first thing we're looking to do is to measure out 32 grams of dried brown lentils. The brown lentil gives you a sort of earthy flavour. If you want, you can substitute for the exact same weight of dried green lentils and you'll get a slightly more peppery flavour added to the dish. So depends which way you want to go. I like using the brown. Whichever lentil you choose to use, you're going to have to rinse them in a sieve under running water. You're just looking to take that white dusty nature off the top of them. Once that's gone, you're done. With 32 grams, it's only a matter of seconds. And take and add them to a small pot and immerse them in water with at least 3 times the volume of water as you have lentils, at a bare minimum. More's acceptable. With the brown or the green lentils, you're going to put them in a pot, bring it to the boil, and you're going to cover it and you're going to keep it at the boil for 15 minutes. Just adjust your temperature accordingly just so that it doesn't boil over the edge when you cover it. You don't 100% have to cover it, but it saves you losing the water if you haven't put enough water in and then your pot running dry. So it just protects the pot from running dry by covering it. 100% don't have to do it, but that's the reason you should stick a cover over the top. And whilst your lentils are boiling away, this gives us plenty of time to go and prepare our other ingredients. So the first thing we need is 180 grams of vital wheat gluten. Add it to a reasonably large bowl because we're going to be putting other ingredients in there as well. Just means all our prep ingredients for what we need can be together in one place. We are then going to add 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast to our vital wheat gluten. The nutritional yeast is there to help give a bit of an umami flavour to the dish. And to the same bowl we're going to add 1 tablespoon of onion powder. And next up is our garlic powder, and again it's 1 tablespoon is what we're looking for. And then it's half a teaspoon of mild chilli powder. If you're wanting them hot or if you're wanting them fiery, by all means go for a hot chilli powder, but I think the mild chilli powder adds a nice round flavour with the little bit of heat in it. And then it's half a teaspoon of table salt. And last but not least, we're also going to add half a teaspoon of ground black pepper to this bowl. Now to a separate bowl we're going to gather our wet ingredients. So the first thing we're looking for is 90 millilitres of water, which is 6 tablespoons, whichever way you wish to measure it. And to the same bowl as the water we're going to add 1 tablespoon of liquid smoke. And to the same bowl we're going to add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Dark soy sauce is preferable, but either dark or light will do. If it just says soy sauce on the outside, it tends to be dark soy sauce. Next up is our olive oil, and we're looking for half a tablespoon of olive oil. And the last of the wet ingredients that we're going to be putting in the bowl is 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, tomato puree, whichever way you call it. And by this stage, your 15 minutes will be thereabouts up for the lentils at the boil. Take the cover off the top of them and we're going to simmer them for 10 minutes if it's brown lentils, but if it's green lentils, because they've got a harder outer shell, you're going to simmer them for 15 minutes. 10 brown, 15 green. And as soon as our simmer period is over, we're going to take and remove the lentils from the heat and we're going to drain them into a colander. Don't leave them sitting in the water. We don't want them getting overly soft. We still want a tiny amount of bite left in these so that that transfers through to our seitan steak when we make it. And after draining, we're going to take and we're going to add our lentils to a food processor with a blade attachment in it. Now this next stage doesn't take long. We're not looking for a complete puree of the lentils. Not far off that, but not a complete puree. You're still going to look for a little bit of lentil shape and texture in the blender, in the food processor. So just turn it on, check how it's going, pay close attention. You can sort of see it's almost at the puree here, but there's still some shape left, but it's close to being a puree. And retaining the blade attachment in the blender, we're now looking to add all of our dry ingredients from the bowl that we prepared earlier. And we're going to give that a really good mix together. Just make sure you scrape any extra or excess that's sticking to the inside of the bowl into the food processor. And now that we've brought together all the dry ingredients, we're going to do the exact same for the wet ingredients by adding these to the food processor. And again, go in with a spatula just to make sure you're getting the entirety of your ingredients transferred across to the bowl. And at a medium to sort of slow speed, we're going to process until everything's well combined. We don't need to go really high here. We're not looking to blitz it. We're just looking to combine all our ingredients. So medium-low speed, 30 seconds, minute and a half. It really does not take long to bring everything together. Now, due to the nature of this seitan, it is very difficult to knead it by machine. Whether you have a kneading paddle, whether you want to go into a food mixer rather than a food processor, it's a difficult one to do by machine. So at this stage, bring it out and we're going to knead it together by hand. And although we are doing it by hand, it's not an arduous task because we're talking really a minute maximum, and we should have brought the seitan together beautifully. So it sounds like, oh no, here's another stage, but it really isn't. It's a minute maximum really, just to knead it together and bring it together. And once we have brought our seitan together, we're going to weigh it. We're then going to divide it equally into 3 equal parts of around 159, 160 grams each is the sort of average that I've been getting when I've made these over the time that I've been making them. So 159, 160 grams is roughly what you're going to be splitting them into. And because all of our parts have been separated to try and weigh it and make sure we've got the right weights of ball here, what we need to do is we need to knead it again, but this time we're looking to knead it towards a rough sort of steak shape. We don't need to go all out here. We are going to go back in after it's had a chance to rest, but initially just a quick knead to bring everything back together, and don't leave it in a ball, leave it, as I say, in a sort of steak shape-ish. And once we've achieved that, we're going to let our seitan rest. That's so the gluten strands themselves have got a chance to rest, so that when we try to form the final shape, it's more likely to do it for us. Whereas if there's a lot of tension still in the gluten, it's not going to want to shape out for us just yet. And whilst our seitan's resting, fill yourself a large pan. I like these big flat pans here for doing these sort of dishes. And we're going to add a bit of salt, and then we're going to bring it to the boil. And now that our seitan has had a chance to rest, we're going to go in with a rolling pin and we're going to roll it out into thin steaks. This is when we're looking for our final shape. After you've done rolling it, you will see some contraction happen. Again, that's the gluten pulling it back. So we're going for quite flat because it's going to contract in on itself, but you're aiming for those steak cuts that you see, what you're used to, what you know. We can now add our steaks to our pan of boiling water, which we're going to cook at a high simmer towards a boil for 25 minutes with a lid on. And whilst our steaks are cooking away, we're going to create the marinade for them. Now, in a large casserole dish, big enough so that all 3 steaks can lie across the bottom of it next to each other rather than having to stack them, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And to the same dish, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of liquid smoke. Now I'm using this brand here because price per milliliter is about 10% the cost of the small ones that you can pick up in the major supermarkets. It does mean though you need to buy it in volume. This was 3.8 litres that I had to buy it in, but it lasts almost indefinitely. So buy it once and save yourself a fortune. And next up, we're looking to add our soy sauce, and this time round it'll be 2 tablespoons of soy sauce into the same dish. And the final ingredient for our marinade is 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And once we have the maple syrup added, we're just going to take and we're going to mix everything together just so that there's no separation, particularly where the oil's involved. At this point, it's worth checking in on your steaks. Make sure that they haven't stuck to the bottom of the pan. That can happen occasionally, very, very occasionally, but it has happened to me in the past. So just make sure they haven't stuck to the bottom of the pan, and otherwise just leave them to cook the rest of the time. And once our 25 minutes is up, we're going to remove them from the water. We're going to set them aside for 5 minutes just for them to rest before we add them to the marinade. Now, when it comes to adding them for the marinade, we're looking for them to be in there the very, very bare minimum 30 minutes, which would be 15 minutes on each side. But if you can do it, make your steaks the day before that you're wanting to have them for dinner and marinate them all day and all night in the fridge, because the flavour really just soaks right across them and soaks right into the surface of them, and it just adds so much more special bite to them when you come eat them. Now that we're ready to eat them, you don't need to add any oil to your pan. We're going to use a non-stick pan here, and what we're going to do is we're going to get it up to a medium-high heat. Once we know it's at temperature, we're going to add our steaks. You're going to hear the sizzle coming off them as they start to sear, and then we're going to add any remaining marinade that we had left over, because there's oils in there and there's cooking juices in there. So we just take and we pour that into the pan, and we are good to go. We're going to cook for 3 minutes on each side at this medium-high heat, more towards the high than the medium, but not quite possibly at the highest setting on your cooker. But we're looking for a really good sizzle going here. You can see the steam pouring out of it. I'd like to be able to hear the sizzle as well, but there's too much other noise going on in the back of my videos, hence why the rest of the audio is removed. But it makes you really, really want to have them when you hear them sizzling away. And once your 3 minutes is over, take silicone lined spatulas. Don't put metal against your non-stick. You don't want to ruin your non-stick. We're just going to turn them over and we're going to continue to cook them for 3 minutes. You can see how they've darkened down. You can see how the marinade has been seared right into the surface of it. It is yummy. I'm salivating here thinking that I want more of them. So 3 minutes and then take them off the heat, and then we're going to let them rest for a couple of minutes before serving. So we're going to serve them up with some mushy peas, some chips, and some of our own homemade steak sauce. Steak sauce I'll cover in another video for you, because this video is quite long as it is. I'll try and get the steak sauce video made so that maybe drops on the same day, and that way you've got both recipes right away. But yum 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 yum. It's time to chow down. So there we go, one vegan steak. I hope it looked as mouth-watering to you whilst it was cooking as it's actually about to be when I take a bite. With my steak sauce as well, which I will make another video for you. It's difficult trying to make a video for both things with one camera, so I'll make a separate video for that. But absolutely gorgeous. Is it meat? No. Is it meaty? Yes. Is it the exact same as beef steak? No. Is it a fantastic substitute? Abso-freaking-lutely. So, crack in, make it, let me know what you think, and enjoy. Take care everyone. Bye bye. Stay safe out there.